country. WTO has opened. UN offices have been opened, relocating from New York and Geneva. Why is it happening? It's because of the stabilized country, politics, good politics, the democratic ideals of this country. Did the promise teachers? 76,000 teachers were recruited during the last 2 periods. Almost a third of the country's teaching fraternity for the last 60 years. So, Mr. Speaker, as I support this agenda of the President, Kenyans must be patient with the President. We do not expect magic to happen so that...
Give him an additional 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, the President mentions a number of roads in this that he intends to construct. I want to do some asks from the President as the people of Northern Kenya and as a representative of people from Northern Kenya. Isiolo to Mandera Road is under construction that was started by this President, but the pace is going very slow. We want him to finish those roads between now and 2027. Garissa, Dadaab, and Liboi Road, a very key road, and he's on right track. Those who are against his ideas are not factual. They just want to make it difficult for him to run this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Rosa Biu, I thought I mentioned in that order. Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for giving me a chance to speak. And before I say anything, I just want to say that I've had a very long month. But God is gracious, and we are back on our feet, and the country will move on. Mr. Speaker, the biggest gift that the Constitution has for Kenyans is devolution. Because devolution dictates that every part of this country gets something or gets developed in equal measures like the other part. For a long time, Mr. Speaker, we've had issues with development being skewed, and many Kenyans have cried foul that they don't get any return of their hard work and of the taxes that they pay. And that was supposed to be cured by devolution. Mr. Speaker, when the President did speak to us last week, I'd hoped that he'd tackle the issue of devolution and the challenges that devolution is facing and what the government hopes and plans to do to meet or to effect, to answer to those challenges. But that did not come through very clearly. Mr. Speaker, I also expected the President to speak on corruption. We know that corruption ails many sectors in this country, and we know that not enough has been done to mitigate corruption. I also expected the President to talk about that. But having said that, Mr. Speaker, the greatest thing that the President demonstrated was the fact that in his reign and the few years that he's been on that throne, the distribution of development in all parts of Kenya is top of his agenda. Mr. Speaker, for a long, long time, Nyanza was left undeveloped because of the saying, and I dare say it in Kiswahili, siasa mbaya, maisha mbaya. Mr. Speaker, because we chose to do politics in a certain way, Nyanza was always left behind when it came to development. But I want to look at two aspects where the President has really performed well and where he demonstrated in his address. The two aspects are in infrastructure, in terms of roads and housing. And when I talk about Nyanza, we've seen tremendous improvement on roads. Mr. Speaker, in Kisumu, we've had the Chemelil, Miwani, Mweroni Road, which has been lying like a dead elephant for a long time. But I'm happy to say that in his government, we now have that road almost complete. Mr. Speaker, we talk about SGR. SGR was a thing that was always in the other government, but SGR is now going to be effected, and it will run up to Malaba, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to look at South Nyanza and talk about the Lake Victoria Ring Road. We know that when that is done, it will open up places and it will ease transport and open up economic opportunities for the people. And the reason why I'm saying this is in his address and in his government, we are seeing that areas that were underdeveloped or long forgotten, despite the fact that they did not vote for the government and other people chose to call them non-shareholding areas, he has turned a blind eye to that non-shareholding nonsense and is actually looking at Kenya as Kenya as a whole and developing Kenya as one nation. Mr. Speaker, I come from Kisumu West. We have one tarmac road, but guess what? Hololela is also going to be tarmacked, and it's in this budget, in an area where nobody ever thought that we would have a security road by the name of Hololela. And I want to thank the President for all the effort that he's putting and ensuring that Kenya moves as one. Because when development is skewed, there'll be no peace in this country. But when you spread out development and every Kenyan feels like they're taken care of, Kenya will remain peaceful. So I want to thank the President for the effort that he's put. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you once again.
Engineer Kiragu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to comment on the presidential speech. One, I want to thank the President for a speech that gave us the history of this country and also gave us the direction and the hope as to how we can move this country forward. I also want to take note of the fact that he has fulfilled that obligation that is in our Constitution to come to this House to give a state of the nation. Mr. Speaker, for us to grow this economy, we will need to be people who are not fearful, people who will make decisions and follow them through. We have been mentioning many countries like Singapore, Malaysia, China, Japan, and many others. Mr. Speaker, those countries made very, very difficult decisions for them to be who they are. And this country, for us to solve some of the major problems we have of unemployment of our youth, we have to make very difficult decisions. Mr. Speaker, we have a challenge of making this country competitive to enable people to come to this country to invest so that we can create employment. One of the key things that the President mentioned is to bring down the cost of power in this country. And I am happy myself as an engineer when I have a car. And when we finished the testing and we had to do commercial, there was argument, and I want to respect my friend, Honorable Member of Dede Nyoro of Kiharu. I had many such economists give figures and data, and all of them, they were negative. What we lost as a country is an opportunity to be a car manufacturer, because they argued you are not many in the country. And I was there seated saying, what about Sweden? They are only 7 million with their car like Saab and Volvo, and they were doing well. But Mahindra, the one of India, they made that decision at that time. And today, Mahindra is a vehicle manufacturing company. So this opportunity we have today as Kenyans to move this country forward will require us to make sure that the route we will take will develop the infrastructure, will skill our people up so that they have a challenge for this century. And I believe in the infrastructure, the ICT network that we have, lowering our power generation, we can improve this country so that it becomes competitive. Speaker, on Friday, I welcome all the members of this House and the public to come and witness a historical event when we are launching the Mau Summit Kamadora project. Many people will talk about figures and scare us, but this is a reality. That road between Rimuru and Naivasha, we have had many people who have died, As a country, we have lost over 4,000 people in a motor vehicle accident. What about the time we lose in our highways? I wish somebody can quantify that when they are giving the data. As a country, we are ready to improve infrastructure in this country. And Mr. Speaker, unless we do some of this very heavy lifting, this country will not be able to be taken to where we are. We cannot compare ourselves with our neighbors. I wish somebody could say, what is the debt GDP ratio of Sudan, Uganda, and our neighboring country? And also tell us, in US, what is the debt?
Give him a minute more. Conclude, Engineer Kiragu.
So that when we are talking about this debt ratio, we also factor the others that we know, and to see whether this country is way off or is also in the same region with the others who want to go like we want to do. But I believe this house, this time, we cannot talk about the past. We have an opportunity ourselves to guide this country to move ahead. Thank you.
Mondi Karoli, I thought was next in that order.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity. Let me begin by conveying my condolences to the Jaramogi family on the loss of Beryl Achieng Odinga, one of the late Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga's sisters. She was a very gentle lady, very calm, and we are very sorry for losing her, especially soon after we lost our dear departed Prime Minister. So our condolences to the Jaramogi family. We wish them all the strength to endure this loss. Honorable Speaker, I'm very happy that the President gave a very eloquent speech in this House. And if you saw the enthusiasm with which he delivered it, and even the way it was drafted and the comparisons it gave, it was a great speech, no doubt. And I think it really painted his vision for the country and what he thought we should do to achieve that vision. But I'm very sorry, I think it was rather misplaced in the context of a State of the Nation address. And I'm saying that as a lawyer and somebody who was a good civics student, and also out of a desire that when we debate some issues here, we should project the correct position under our Constitution to Kenyans, and especially those who are still in school who could be looking at us. If you look at Article 132 of our Constitution, the State of the Nation address should capture three issues. One, measures taken and progress achieved in the realization of national values and principles under Article 10 of our Constitution. And the President gave us a report, which is 667 pages on that particular matter. The second item that the State of the Nation address should cover is progress made in fulfilling the international obligations of the Republic of Kenya. Again, the President submitted a report of 659 pages on that particular item. And the last one is the state of national security, where he presented a 116 pages report. But if you look at his speech, there's a disconnect. He did not talk to these reports. So we could be confusing Wananchi that the President's speech, which in my view would have been a great pre-budget statement or a very great statement at the launch of a party manifesto, is what the State of the Nation address should be. And I'm saying this because the question we should ask ourselves, why a State of the Nation address and why Article 10 of the Constitution? There's a reason. Because the framers of our Constitution believed great nations, progressive nations, and stable nations are founded on national values and strong institutions. And those are the two areas that the State of the Nation address should be talking to us every year about, so that we can list those values. And of course, they're in this report. But if you listen to the President's speech and you're just an ordinary person, you'd think the State of the Nation address is about roads, is about hospitals, is about this. Those are elements of a very narrow concept of the national values, which may be inclusivity or respect of human rights. But we have issues of devolution, and devolution, we've had it for now about a decade and a few years. Has it worked? What are the challenges? What are we doing to make devolution work for the people? These are the kind of things that I'd expected we would talk about. Public participation is a national value. We still don't have a public participation law. What are we doing to have a public participation law? Human rights. We have issues to do with compensation to victims of police brutality, riot victims. What are we doing about this? These are the kind of things. Integrity issues, which some members have articulated here. What have we done to fight corruption? How many people have been prosecuted successfully? What has been recovered? These are the kind of things. The Chapter 15 constitutions and the independent offices, have we strengthened them? Have we weakened them? Have we given them budgets? Are we teaching nationhood science, our national values in our schools? In terms of international obligations, have we fulfilled our obligations under customary international law, under treaties that we are parties, under state organizations, international organizations to which we are members? These are the kind of things that this House should be debating. So we are confusing wananchi when we are talking so strongly about roads, railways, but those are not the contents of a State of the Nation address. State of the Nation address has been defined under Article 132 of our Constitution. And as great as a speech that was delivered here, which cumulatively is about 1,500 pages, surely we should...
You want to give him an additional 1 minute. Proceed, and you can take a minute if you...
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The reason why I'm saying this is that if we truly aspire to make Kenya a great country, like Singapore did, it is based on values. It is based on strong institutions. Look at the book of Lee Kuan Yew. Lee Kuan Yew said two major statements. One, if you want to compete globally, then you must adopt global standards. Number two, when he was asked the question which we always ask, why did Singapore make it and Kenya didn't make it? He said, in Singapore, they let me live. In Kenya, they killed my friend Tom Mboya. It's about institutions, it's about leadership, it's about values. And the State of the Nation address is supposed to keep reinforcing and re-emphasizing those issues every year before this House and to the public, so that as a nation we can all draw together behind one vision. We don't even have a successor of Vision 2030. A partisan political party manifesto, like what we have, the UDA manifesto, cannot be expected to deliver the kind of transformation we want. A true transformation will come out of a joint economic platform built by all parties and the entire country. And that is what the State of the Nation should be about. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Naomi Wako, followed by Honorable Waluke, and followed by the Honorable MP for Dagoretti South. Am I right? And
Thank you.
then to be able to temper it also in terms of gender, the Honorable MP for Narok North. I'll come to you. I'll come to you all.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to also add my contribution to the current debate on the presidential address of 20th November 2025. Honorable Speaker, as a country, this speech has helped us to see a growing country, to see a country that is rebuilding its economy, to see a country that is being unified, to see a country that the leader, who is His Excellency the President, is working very hard to move from third world to the first world. Honorable Speaker, that cannot come easily. We have to all work very hard, and especially the elected leaders, together with our great people of this nation. We must work together so that we realize that big dream of transforming the entire nation. Honorable Speaker, when this government came into power 2022, we found ourselves in a big challenge because of the damage that COVID-19 brought. People's economy and businesses has crashed. Many people have suffered because of the challenges we went through during COVID. The country has gone through a big challenge because we were not growing in terms of economical empowerment, and because our businesses has come down. But Honorable Speaker, immediately we came into power, our president focused on different areas, on health, housing, infrastructure, and education. As a result of that, this government has enabled 73,000 teachers to be employed. And under that employment, every part of this country has benefited. One good thing that our president has done is serving this country and bringing all of us together, and also exercising equality. Honorable Speaker, I want to congratulate our president for all that he has done, and especially on health issues. SHA is working today. I remember when we debated, others were making fun of it and saying SHA, she, chief, and everything, and they were so negative. But today, their own families are benefiting. I have a relative who has benefited from this. Under education, as I said, our president is fully committed. And that is why, again, we have that promise of 100 teachers, 100,000 teachers to be employed. That will transform education sector. And Honorable Speaker, we also know very well that His Excellency spoke about infrastructure, the many roads that are being built, and lots of roads that were not on today are working. Mine is just to say that areas like the place I come from, the security roads and other things that we have already made requests, and even I know when the president will visit our county for development tour, we'll be able to put some things in light. But mine is just to say that as a nation, one area that our president needs to focus on is on fighting corruption, which has become a real problem to us. I know he's focused, I know he's committed, but his next speech should cover that.
Give her a minute, an additional minute.
In his speech, the president extended a deserved recognition to this 13th Parliament. Honorable Speaker, we all know very well what happened 2024. Today we are recovering, and we have helped our president to grow this country together with us. And we know very well that under his leadership, this House will continue making some positive marks and bringing this nation to a place where everybody will say, yes, we are in good hands. And thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I support.
The Honorable Waluke, when the chair gives a certain order, that order has got.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me a chance also to contribute on the State of the National Address of the President. Our President was very clear, Honorable Speaker, and his speech inspired many of us on that day, Honorable Speaker. He talked of so many things that affect us as people of this nation, Honorable Speaker, especially the economy of this country. Honorable Speaker, it is true that the economy of this country has improved compared to as it was before. Honorable Speaker, in 3 years, indeed, our president has tried, because of paying debts for this country, and also making sure that the country does not remain behind in terms of development. The country is developing. Is the first president, the Honorable Speaker, to make sure that he pushes the resources from the central government to the down to the villages, to the constituencies, to the counties, where the people of Kenya are, because we all come from rural to the city, Honorable Speaker. He has made sure that when you go around the country, Honorable Speaker, everywhere, you can see a project, a national project, either water project, road infrastructure, Honorable Speaker, electricity. You can see it is going on almost everywhere. Development, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, as we speak, the inflation has come down. You saw 2 years ago, politicians were wearing sufurias on their heads because of lack of food. They incited the country. Honorable Speaker, our young people joined them. But now, there is plenty of food because of the prices of fertilizer came down from 7 to 2,500. And that is what we were lacking. And the GDP, Honorable Speaker, is growing from 115 to now billion to now 136, which is showing that at least Kenya is growing economically. Honorable Speaker, if all Kenyans support the president, he is out to make sure that he moves this country to another level, which is our desire, Honorable Speaker. The latest that I saw was about Nyota, to make sure that the youth of this country can also join others to do business, so that they grow together with other businessmen and women of this country, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we are moving together, supporting the president to make sure that this country is moving the right direction, because he wants to move Kenya to another level. He has a vision and a mission and a direction of this country, Honorable Speaker. So with those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I urge Kenyans to support and leave alone the politics, because politics is over until 2027. But all of us, as people of this country, should come together and leave out the hatred, so that we can support our country, we can support our government, we can support our president to move our country forward. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
MP for the Greater South, followed by Madam Pareo. No, first is KJ first.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to debate this very important event in the Parliament, in the life of Parliament, Mr. Speaker, when the President gets the opportunity to appear before this House and report to country on the progress that is being made on the promotion of our national values. Secondly, for the President to come and tell us how we are doing as concerns our international obligations, and also for the President to come and talk to us about the state of national security. And Mr. Speaker, we all have to admit that away even just from the substance, even the form, the way this State of the Nation address was delivered was in a state that we all agree was done very well, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, coming out of this address, it was clear that we have a leadership and a president who has decided that we can no longer as a country afford to kick the can down the road. that it is time for country to do those things that we have always wished to have done since independence, but have never had the political goodwill or even the fortitude to do them, Mr. Speaker. We all know that some of the things that the president is reporting to us on the state of the nation, be it housing, be it universal health care, be it the change of our education system, be it a matter to do with the promotion of our youth, are issues that have lived in our manifestos for now more than 6 decades, Mr. Speaker. But each time any president has attempted to go forward with affordable housing or to go forward with universal health care, because of wanting to play populist politics, everyone has shied away from it. But Mr. Speaker, coming from the address, we could see the president report to us on the progress that we are seeing on affordable housing, Mr. Speaker. Unprecedented development across this country, offering in excess of 160,000 jobs to our youth, creation of fittings and furniture in our houses by our own fundis, Mr. Speaker. Things that we have wanted to do for over 6 decades are happening now, Mr. Speaker. We all know what mess we had run into as a country because of NHIF and the things that were happening as we were developing private hospitals at the expense of our public hospitals. And now, Mr. Speaker, coming out of this address from the president, we can see clearly that we are reversing that drive towards the building of private hospitals using national resources at the expense of national and public hospitals, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, the takeout from this address is that, one, Kenya is at a place where we have decided we will not kick this can down the road. We will face these problems head on, and we shall deal with them head on, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the second thing I heard from this State of the Nation address, beyond the figures and the numbers that were enumerating the successes, I had a new call, Mr. Speaker, to a reimagined Kenya, where we have to think as a country, if we want development, where does the money come from? And Mr. Speaker, it is very clear that for the last years, we have been getting money from people's savings. We go to China and get a loan. The loan we get there is the savings of the people of China. And the president, in the State of the Nation address, was calling us to reimagine how, as a nation, we can push up our pensions, how we can push up our savings, and even how we can reorganize our budgets to save more as a country than we have been saving, Mr. Speaker. And why this is important, Mr. Speaker, is because going forward, we can see where we are at with our debts. We have already touched the debt ceiling, Mr. Speaker. So this call by the president on an infrastructural bond, on a sovereign bond, Mr. Speaker, talking to us about how we can become the new Singapore, Mr. Speaker. The answer lies in the soft issues. For Singapore to be what they became, there are 2 critical things that Singapore did. One, meritocracy, the place for meritocracy. And Mr. Speaker, the second thing is patriotism. On meritocracy, Mr. Speaker, we have to say that Kenya is in no doubt going to get 100% of President William Ruto. The question has to be, what percentage of KJ will Kenya get? What percentage of that other person will Kenya get? The president
Give him an additional minute.
This president has demonstrably committed to doing his job, but Mr. Speaker, it must be said that he may not be able to do it on his own. What this House must call up the executive to do is the executive must bring up meritocracy. Those who perform must be rewarded for performance. Those who can't perform must go home, Mr. Speaker, and we get people who are able to deliver together with the president. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, patriotism as a soft issue. We all must be proud to belong. And by being proud to belong, Mr. Speaker, then we shall be able to give not only our 100%, but everybody else's 100% for the betterment of country. And Mr. Speaker, the State of Nation, as I had it, is that this nation is coming from a very deep hole. We have stopped digging. Now we are starting to find how to claw out of this hole. Mr. Speaker, I do thank you.
The Honorable Madam Pareyo
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to add my voice to the State of the Nation address by His Excellency. This speech, I listened to it, and this speech gives hope to Kenyans. Why? Because when this government came to power, Kenyans had a lot of problems, starting from food. There were so many families that could not put food on the table. But when he came with an idea of subsidized fertilizers, all farmers were able to put food on the table because they could get food to give to their children. And when you look at our constituencies, there are constituencies that have not developed like others. There are those that were not considered. But these days we see the president making sure that we equally get what other constituencies are getting. When he came to power, you look at my constituency, when I went to him to see him on electricity, definitely he was able, and we were given an affirmative action funds to make sure that we come to the level of where other constituencies are. That means that all the development agendas are in every constituency, not like those days when there were people who are considered leaving other people behind. So we are now moving at the same path, and we are proud to say that in our constituencies, we see projects coming up. Like in my constituency, we have a road that they have already tendered, and that is going to be a tarmac road that will be done in an area where we do wheat. And some of my people are farmers, others are pastoralists who look after the animals, but we have no roads. But we see the president now coming out, considering these constituencies like other constituencies. So this speech gives us hope and gives us a direction of where we are coming from and where he wants to go. I know that he had to make very hard decisions when he came to power because almost there was nothing moving. And everybody was annoyed because we were all complaining of fuel, we were complaining of food, and we were not seeing what was going on. And there were people demonstrating, putting the sufurias on top of their heads because that was a demonstration to say that they have no food to put on the tables. But these days, we have more than enough. We have food that we eat, and we have food that we keep in our stores for tomorrow. So for that reason, again, when you talk about health, people were wondering what will happen now that NHIF was not there. What is this that they call SHA? But today, I'm proud to say that even my people know what SHA is. When they come to me, they say, yes, I have a patient in the hospital, but SHA was able to cover the bill for my patient. So I see SHA working. So when I listen to him talking, as much as people think that he was not articulate to what he was telling Kenyans, to some of us who have been behind and who have been left behind, we see improvement in his leadership, and he gives us hope. And when you look at his speech, we get hope, and we feel Kenyans like everybody else. Thank you.
The Honorable Christine Mbaka, followed by the Honorable Basil.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving.
Honorable Sigei, then Mayaka. Okay. Then I'll come to Karachuonyo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Before I put my case forward, let me take this opportunity to pass my condolences to the family of Jaramogi Oginga Odinga for the loss of Beryl Achieng, the sister to Baba Raila Amolo Odinga. May her soul rest in eternal peace. Back to the speech of the president, the State of the Nation, I must say how intriguing it was. It was very exciting when the president presented his speech He himself was so confident in his presentation. He was so exciting. He was so committed to his ideas. And one thing that stood out was that he highlighted a lot about the infrastructure for quite a lot of time. And the infrastructure, as he described what he wants to see, he was measuring it against Singapore and the economy of Singapore. In other words, he had a mission. He has a mission to fulfill that will have the standards that Singapore has had. So when it comes to infrastructure, he talked of the road system, how he really wants to extend the road system, including the SGR. And one begins to imagine, the imagination I got when he was presenting was I was seeing America, I was seeing South Africa, the extent to which the roads are well done. We always admire the trains that you see in America, the ones that you see in South Africa. The road system is so good, is so excellent. If we can reach there, the way the president described, we are good to go. That means the president will leave a huge legacy on the infrastructure. My only caution is that when that is being done, as we look forward to it excitedly, he must make sure that the standards are met, that the roads are done on they must do good roads that have quality standards, that we do not have constant potholes, that they are not too narrow, even though they may be good. They are not too narrow, they are wide, and that the infrastructure that is going to put in our system is going to be something admirable, something that looks like in Singapore. The second point that he raised was on health. He highlighted the role of community health workers. These are a group of people who are trained at local level to manage health problems that local people do have and would refer them to main hospitals. These are people who are trained but have never been properly utilized. Their skills have never been utilized properly. Their terms and conditions of employment is so poor, and normally they tend to be neglected. If the president has highlighted that he's going to make use of them, then I see a lot of improvement in healthcare from the local level, where the community health workers will have their terms and conditions better improved. They will be able to be motivated, they'll be on salaries, and that they will do their work skillfully. Lastly, but not least, the president had a lot of good things. The hope that we all look forward to seeing at his time when he's the president. Whether he's going to be there for 2 terms, I can see that he's going to leave this country a better place than the way we thought he would leave it. He also introduced an issue of economic empowerment for young people, that is Nyota, but we should not forget that he had already introduced one called Hustler. But we have many more, such as Uwezo Fund. We also have Youth Fund. We also have Women Economic Enterprise. These are funds that support young people, women, and people living with disability. I'm so happy that the president has introduced Nyota as well. So the Kenyan people will have access to finances that they can utilize to improve their businesses, and therefore unemployment, issues of...
Give her half a minute.
Yeah, I'm saying issues of economic empowerment will improve the people's economy. There will be self-employment will be there, and the people's lives will improve with the kind of funds that is supposed to give them empowerment. Thank you very much.
Honorable Basil, MP for Yatta.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support the speech that was made by His Excellency, the President of this country. From onset, I want to applaud the President for making a very solid speech. And I want to say one of the very remarkable statements that he made was actually the lowering the cost of power. If you look at Asian tigers, we are talking of Taiwan, we are talking of Japan, we are talking of Singapore, we are talking of China. They made it where they are today because of making the right choices. When you talk of power, electricity is one of the very essential ingredients to boost and to drive the economy. And if you lower cost of power in Kenya, you're going to attract many investors. You're going to make Kenya a competitive country when it comes to pooling external resources right here in the country, Mr. Speaker. Importantly, currently we are talking of unemployment. Quite a number of our youth are not able to get meaningful employment to be able to earn for themselves. When we lower cost of power, Mr. Speaker, many of the investors who come here, they'll be able to open doors for employment. If you look at a country like Ethiopia that I mentioned a while back, Ethiopia is getting it right because their cost of power is low. So when this president made it right that he's going to consider to lower cost of energy, I totally agree with him, and that is the right step, the right action that this country should make. Additionally, Mr. Speaker, on matters to do with infrastructure, the president is making very serious and tangible milestone on infrastructure. I'm talking of bitumen standard roads. And I'll make reference of my constituency, Mr. Speaker Yatta. For the first time in history, we are getting the first 10 kilometers of bitumen standards for a very critical road that is even going to decongest Thika Road, Mr. Speaker. Because the road that the president has advertised through his government to be upgraded to bitumen standard, it will be the doorway to go to Mombasa if you are coming from Nyeri or if you are coming to Central. For people who have no business in Nairobi who want to get it to Mombasa quickly, they'll now use Yatta as an alternative, Mr. Speaker. And that is a critical road. Instead of ethnicizing development, it's important to put investment where it matters. And on infrastructure, I applaud the president for the step he's making. And I would say if we continue this way, then we'll be in the right path to be able to get at the same level with Asian tankers and many other countries that have made it and who are in the same level like us, Mr. Speaker. On matters to do with markets, Mr. Speaker, allow me to say the president is doing very well on markets. In Yatta, for instance, I've got 2 markets. And there is one additional market that is on the way, Mr. Speaker. And these markets are going to boost employment, and I'm talking of informal employment, informal sector of the economy, where most of the people are dominant, they are women, Mr. Speaker. So with the markets, we'll be able to feed many families, and more so poor families, who are dependent on women as the drivers of the economy when it comes to markets and in the informal sector, Mr. Speaker. Importantly on sports, Mr. Speaker, and I'll beg for additional few minutes. I think I have very salient points that are important for many of our members of parliament to also try to listen to, so I do request for additional few points, or few minutes, Mr. Speaker. So on sports, Mr. Speaker, for the first time in history, I've got a sport academy, Mr. Speaker, and this is going to nurture talents. We are talking of nurturing talents and ensuring the youth get employment through sports. So through having a sports academy in my constituency, for instance, and many other constituencies across the country, that is a step in the right direction, Mr. Speaker. And we have to applaud the president for this, not just politicizing for the sake of politics, Mr. Speaker. And then when it comes to water, water is an essential factor, is an element that you can't ignore when it comes to food security, Mr. Speaker. In my constituency, for instance, I have irrigation schemes that have been started and which are almost to completion, Mr. Speaker. And I also want to remind...
Give him an additional 2 minutes.
When it comes to my constituency, we also have mega dams. And His Excellency the President, Mr. Speaker, he did mention of mega dams, including Yatta Dam, which is centralized in Yatta constituency, Mr. Speaker. If this dam eventually be constructed, it will be a game changer on food security in my constituency and its environs, Mr. Speaker. We are talking of Thika East, we are talking of Muranga, and many other constituencies, that is Gatanga and others, that are bordering Yatta constituency, who are going to benefit from Yatta Dam, Mr. Speaker. And then lastly, technology. Mr. Speaker, His Excellency is investing in digital hubs across the country, Mr. Speaker. And some are in my constituency, another constituency, Mr. Speaker. The digital hub is a key drive when it comes to technology. We are talking of what we call exponential age, technology age that we are talking about in the country today. We can't be able to move if we don't get it right on technology. And I do applaud the President for focusing on digital hubs, among other technology investments. So it's important we give credit where it's due. And then finally, it's about research. That's an area we need to put more resources into to be able to put our country at the same level with the countries like China and many others that are embracing themselves with research through, that is technology through research. So thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I support the speech. Thank you.
The Honorable, who was next? I had said Honorable MP for Sotik. Then followed by the MP for Karachuonyo. No, for Mayaka, Karachuonyo, and then Abdistrat Khalif. And then, of course, we'll come to you, Kimei.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to also stand here to support the very excellent and eloquent speech given by His Excellency the President last week on Thursday. Mr. Speaker, I want to join my colleagues in applauding the President for making such a visionary, bold, honest, and a speech with a lot of hope for Kenyans. Mr. Speaker, when I saw the President making a speech there, I could see a confident President. But the catchword, Mr. Speaker, in his speech, was about moving this country from third world country to a first world country. And Mr. Speaker, he gave us a roadmap in which it has never been given. But Mr. Speaker, you can understand people who are not believing in the President. I understand them, Mr. Speaker, because this country has tried several times to implement things like housing, implement things like universal health suffrage, but it has never happened. But with now the President who has taken bold steps, sure steps, and he touches on serious and fundamental areas of this economy of this country. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to say I was very happy to hear the President, particularly touching on agriculture, a critical area. Agriculture is a critical area, and for the last 2 years, Mr. Speaker, the President has taken bold steps, and we have seen fruits. Subsidized fertilizer, Mr. Speaker, from 7,000 to 2,500 shillings. It has done a revolution. A reformed agriculture can now feed the nation. We now have food security. Mr. Speaker, I want to say that in Sotik, we, the people of that constituency, have really appreciated what the President has done. And we want to say we are going to work hard to make sure that whatever he wants to achieve is achieved. Mr. Speaker, I only want to mention that in Sotik, and I am very sure it is all over with the dairy farmers, we have a big problem because the farmers have not been paid for the last 4 months. And Mr. Speaker, this is not progress. Mr. Speaker, this government, and I know the President is very aware about this, the President must address the issue of KCC, the farmers must be paid on time, and if there's a problem with KCC, we must reform KCC. Mr. Speaker, I want to mention what the President said about National Infrastructure Fund. Mr. Speaker, this is one of the bold decisions which the President has done. And, Mr. Speaker, when you mention the road from Limuru, the road from Rironi to Mau Summit, the road from Limuru to Maimahiu, Mr. Speaker, that's the route I use to Narok and then Sotik. It is a nightmare. And if the President can be able to fix that problem we have in that road, Mr. Speaker, this country will go far. The road from Rironi to Mau Summit will be a game changer. Mr. Speaker, the road from, which is now fixing in my constituency, from Gibsonoi to Kamuraito to Kapkele is a game changer in my constituency. Mr. Speaker, I want to applaud the President. I want to also ask the prophets of doom to stop and believe in the President. I want to ask Kenyans to come together and support the President, because this President has a vision. This President is looking ahead of us. And I'm very sure, Mr. Speaker, if we support the President, this country will have a change. I want us to address the issue of corruption. Mr. Speaker, that's something which is an elephant in the house. And we cannot avoid this one. We must look at the corruption which is manifested.
Give him an additional 2 minutes.
We want to look at the corruption which is almost everywhere, Mr. Speaker. This will assist the President to achieve whatever he wants to achieve. Mr. Speaker, we want to address the issue of the county governments, because this is an area where there are a lot of corruption. Even in national government, we have corruption. The President must put people in government who are serious, who will carry his vision, who will be able to say, yes, we are with the President. Mr. Speaker, we must support the President. We must support him because we believe in his vision. We must fight tribalism, Mr. Speaker, a disease which is giving us a lot of problems. People who are bitter about personalities. Mr. Speaker, we must stop and come together as Kenyans and work together. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I support.
The Honorable Mayaka, followed by Karachuonyo, and then followed by the MP for nominated MP Abdistrat Khalif.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to also make my contributions in regards to the motion on the State of the Nation address by His Excellency the President. This was an address, Honorable Speaker, where the President told us that when he came to Parliament 2 years ago, he had a vision to tell, and now he was coming to tell us a story about that vision he has. And Honorable Speaker, I believe in giving credit where it's due. And I just want to give credit to the President for some of the things that he had put in place and said that he will do that have actually come to fruition. One of them being the President promised that the price of unga would actually become lower. And that is something that he achieved. When at the beginning of his term, the shilling was doing extremely badly in this country. But right now, the shilling has stabilized at 129 shillings. Another thing, Honorable Speaker, is our inflation rate, which was at an exceeding percentage of 9.6% in 2022, but right now is at 4.6%. Honorable Speaker, if you have a look at the Nairobi Securities and the Nairobi Stock Exchange market, which had lost a lot of public goodwill, they are now back on track. And these are some of the things that the President actually highlighted in his speech. Another thing for me that is very interesting and very important to even my people back in Nyamira, it's in the agriculture sector. In 2002, when they introduced the Kenya Integrated Agricultural Management Information System, only 300,000 farmers had registered. But right now, we have 7.1 million farmers who have registered into this. And this has actually been very helpful to farmers because it has brought into place an opportunity for there to be scientific interventions in how we do agriculture in our country. It has helped to eliminate brokers and middlemen who have really affected the agricultural space in our country. Honorable Speaker, for me, being a country that is very focused economically on agriculture is very important because it also attaches us to what is happening in the current world. I'm only hoping that in future we will be able to get into even a space where we are using other high-level technologies in the agricultural space. Honorable Speaker, looking at the fiber expansion in our country, and in particular public Wi-Fi, we are coming from a position where we had 0 public Wi-Fi in this country to 1,500 accessible public Wi-Fi in our country. We currently have 300 digital hubs with 400 in the pipeline. And Honorable Speaker, and especially taking into consideration the fact that we are a very youthful nation, this is very encouraging because it enables young people to also integrate into digital economy. Honorable Speaker, the other factor is under the Nyota. And for me, what was very exciting is the fact that myself and Honorable Crystal Asige have co-sponsored a bill called the Startup Bill, which speaks a lot into matters involving the young people and enablers for the young people to be able to be their own employers, to be able to have entrepreneurs, to have an environment where they're able to actually get capacity build in terms of the digital marketing, to be capacity build in terms of copyright association. And I like the fact that the Nyota program has all this into consideration. Honorable Speaker, some of the other things that the President also highlighted that for me were very exciting, and I really hope that we will actually have this in place by the time we get into the next election, was the dueling of some of the major roads that affect some of us, like the routes that goes to Kisii, the road that goes from Nairobi, Kisumu, all the way to Busia. And Honorable Speaker, as I finish, I also want to touch on the matter of moving from a third world to a first world. And I just want to invite not only the other members of parliament, but also Kenyans, to read a book by the founding Prime Minister of Singapore. It's called The Third World, From the Third World to the First World, The Singaporean Story. Because Lee Kuan Yew had to make very tough decisions for Singapore to get to where it is. And I like that the President said that we would like to also be like Singapore. And there's nothing wrong with that, Honorable Speaker, because as Dr. Jasmine Skulak once said, there is nothing wrong with being a copycat if you're copying.
Give us some 2 more minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'll just take that again. And I just want to say that there is nothing wrong with us wanting to be like Singapore. And if you read this book and snippets of it, you'll see the tough decisions that this particular founding Prime Minister had to make for his country to be such a good example that even our President referred to it in his speech. And I just want to finish that by saying that, as Dr. Jasmine Skulak once said, there is nothing wrong with being a copycat if you're copying the right cat. With those few remarks, I submit. I thank you.
MP for Karachuonyo, followed by Abdistrat Khalif.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me the opportunity to comment on this presidential speech, which was very eloquent, full of substance, and, in my opinion, very good. Now, the president really emphasized on infrastructure, under which roads, SGR, energy fall, together with others. And I was impressed, because these are the engines of development. The president's dream is noble. He would like this country to move from third world to first world. We long for that time. It will be a time that will make us remember this president as one who has done for us what Napoleon could not do in history. I know when he was talking about roads, my mind was struggling with, where is my area? Yes, I have some roads being worked on in my area, like a Jichoteko Road, It is my hope this road.
Other honorable members, there's an honorable member who's listening loudly to her. Where is that coming from? Huh? Where is that? No, I thought there was some sound interfering with. Who is interfering with? Honorable members, don't put on your phones, your mobile phones, when there's a session in Parliament here. Proceed, MP for Karachuonyo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Now, I was saying that in my area, we have some roads which I'm sure he is covered by what he said. And that's the Jijoteko Road, plus two others which are ongoing. I was also keen to listen on what he was saying about SGR and also energy. These were ambitious projects, very costly in nature. So again, my mind was struggling that if the president wants to do these things for us, there is a devil waiting somewhere, the funding. Where is he going to get the funding for these projects? I'm in Finance and National Planning Committee. And I was wondering whether the president would probably end by talking about sacrifice in terms of paying tax. But the president is aware of what I also know, and all of us know, that Kenyans are crying our taxation is very high, and therefore we hoped he was not going to touch about that. So the president went on to talk about PPP. I support this. That's the only way out that would help us in funding these ambitious projects the president had. Because if we do tax Kenyans, we will find problems with the Kenyan people, because we'll be adding what is already a burden. And I would be very reluctant to see that being done. So it is my happiness that the president did not talk about any taxation based on what he was telling us. It is my hope that the president will be able to find good partners who would sign with us good agreements that can help the implementation of PPP. Because if that's done, I'm sure the president will be able to fund his ambition for third world level, for first world level, without too much of a burden on Kenyans.
Give him an additional 1 minute.
Yeah, I was just concluding saying that let us help the president implement these things. It is my hope that this will be done at the lowest possible cost without hurting the projects themselves. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Abdistrat Khalif.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to take this opportunity to contribute to the speech of the President. Mr. Speaker, the President's speech comprised literally of two aspects, the short term and long term. In the short term, he expressed that many things are happening in Kenya, like health sector, the health sector, the markets, the housing, which are doing very well. He also suggested that we need to do more in terms of agriculture, in terms of energy, roads, which cannot be financed through the traditional way. You are all aware that we used to fund our development through debts. These debts are becoming unsustainable. In fact, we have reached our ceiling and we are no longer able to borrow like before. We therefore suggested the creation of infrastructure fund that can help to do mega projects that can take this country to where we all want. Mr. Speaker, the speech honestly gave us some glad tidings, gave us hope. Where we are going is as important as where we are now. And it's only through hope that we can, look forward to the future. Therefore, the President has given us hope. Mr. Speaker, the infrastructure fund the President talked about is going to help us in the development of roads. We are having a shortfall of building roads up to 20,000 kilometers. Where we come from, the northern Kenya, literally we have no tarmac roads. It's therefore through these mega, projects that the President talked about, is what is going to give the people of northern Kenya the hope they need. Mr. Speaker, you are aware that we only have 15% of arable land that are now being used for agriculture. The growing, population of this country means we need to put more land into agricultural use. And that can only be done through irrigation, by having mega dams, by, using these rivers. Where I come from, Mandera, we have a river called River Dawa, which is passing through Mandera County. If we use that water, use irrigation and harness that water, it can really feed the people of Mandera County and have surplus for the rest of the country and even export, Mr. Speaker. We therefore encourage the President and give all the support he needs in creation of this infrastructure fund that is going to be used for agricultural use. Mr. Speaker, we also have a shortfall in terms of energy. The number of households that are now connected to electricity is limited in this country. Is therefore, the President's speech talked about having electricity available to our homes. We therefore encourage him to do more and support him. Mr. Speaker, some naysayers are casting aspersions on the integrity and the speech of the President. I wonder, what else will he have done as the president of this country, other than giving us hope and alternatives to take us forward? People are talking about Singapore. They are talking about Japan. All those countries must have foregone some luxury to reach where they are now. I urge everybody in this country, including
give him 2 more minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Let me repeat that. Everybody, including members of parliament in this house, must support the President to take this country where we want. We have to forego some luxury. We have to do what it takes to move forward. We can't be always talking about poverty, talking about lack of funding. 60 years after independence, we must change something to go far. Otherwise, we'll be talking about, now we are competing, we are saying we are the sixth in Africa. If we don't do and make changes that are necessary to take us forward, and seeing our population ballooning, I think we might go lower than where we are now. So I support the president, and he has done a wonderful job so far, and we encourage him to do more, and he has our full support. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kamei. Madam Beatrice Kamei.
Sure.
Where's Chief Ramondo? Oh, yeah, okay. Proceed, Madam Kamei. Then
Okay.
followed by Chief Ramondo.
I know my brother is patient enough. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I want to appreciate the State of the Nation address by His Excellency the President, Honorable William Samoei Ruto, on November 20th in this Parliament. Honorable Speaker,
Honorable KJ and the Honorable Abdisrat Khalif. Please consult in low tones. Proceed, Kamei.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker, at least so that they also listen to me. You know, Keche is one of those guys we looked up to when we were listening to many of the good things he used to say in this country. So I believe, and we support what he's doing. So, Honorable Speaker, I want to say that this is a speech, I can say, of the year. You would actually see that, Honorable Speaker, we became very excited at some point, and people called us from home, what is happening there? And we were telling them, we're talking of 2 terms for the president. And then to some point, we said long term. So if there's a way it can be long term, I will be there. Honorable Speaker, the speech is inclusive, all inclusive. Every sector of the economy was included in his speech. And Honorable Speaker, the president took us from the past, how we were before he came to power 3 years ago, where we are at the moment and where we are headed. This is to tell us that he's a visionary leader. And particularly, Honorable Speaker, that the president is lifting the shame that we are getting out of not paying our debts, so that in this case, we are not anymore in the list of the defaulters. Because when he said, it was not, people were not asking if Kenya will default, but when. But now we are not in that list of shame. So I really want to thank the president, and I know he took very serious decisions that entails a lot of sacrifice, a lot of commitment, a lot of so much work. So, and this fact that at least in this country, in this Africa, in this continent, Honorable Speaker, we are moving from 8th position when it comes to matters of GDP, we're coming to position 6. That one alone makes me feel good. At least we are being appreciated and known in Africa. So our economy is rising. And I'm happy with this fact that in next year, 2026, moving from 5% to 5.8, that one is very, very important to me. And knowing this, Honorable Speaker, that even our shilling is strong, at least getting stronger with being at with the 129. That is the exchange rate, and I'm happy for that, Honorable Speaker. And then the many areas of our concern, the Speaker spoke to it, particularly from where I come from in Kericho. Matters of agriculture is very close to our hearts because we are agriculturalists, and particularly the tea production, which is said it has grown, and in this case, improving the earnings from tea from 138 billion in 22 to 215 billion. I appreciate in 24, I appreciate this, but Honorable Speaker, I'm still concerned that even if it is moving to 215, that one is not enough until we see the money in the pockets of the farmers. That is what the farmers, they may not understand all this. They only want to feel and to have the money in the pockets. So I would say that this industry, the tea industry, needs to be looked into seriously. And also the side of dairy farming. Honorable Speaker, as much as we are getting a lot of liters, I want to say that farmers, there's delayed payment to the farmers, the dairy farmers. For 3-4 months, they have not been paid. So new KCC is actually bringing us an issue. Honorable Speaker, I want to speak to the side of sugarcane. I'm happy at the moment.
Please give her an additional 2 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Sugarcane farmers, at least they are also smiling to the bank. We are increasing in the acreage and also they are getting money as expected. Honorable Speaker, when we talk about this private-public partnership, and especially in the side of infrastructure, the JKIA, Honorable Speaker, when we actually visit other countries for official duties, like the other day from South Africa, you'll realize that their airports, the international, actually means international, and their standards are very high. So if our JKIA is improved, I know we will also have more visitors and the tourism industry will improve very, very greatly. Honorable Speaker, in matters of health, I'm happy, and especially if it is from 1st of December, the package for cancer patients will move from 550 to 800. That one will have lifted a burden from the many fundraisings that are done. And I know time is not on our side. Electricity we appreciate, but many families are not connected. Any meeting, any function event that we attend, our citizens, our wananchi talks of electricity, electricity, electricity. They cannot imagine in this era they are still in darkness and faulty transformers. So I ask the Kenya Power, REREC, and the energy sector to make sure that faulty transformers are changed or are actually replaced. The road sector improved. I'm happy, and especially this Rironi, Naivasha, Nakuru, Mau Summit. That is the road I use, and especially during this festive season. So when it becomes dual, it will save us a lot. Honorable Speaker, sitting on this road for 12 hours is not easy. And Honorable Speaker, noting that there are no toilets on the road, maybe along the road and anywhere else. And Honorable Speaker, we cannot go just like the others, maybe in the forest. So, and being the kind of people we are, so these long hours is not saving us well. But thank you for this road and the many other roads, Honorable Speaker, that will be made dual. And education sector, I'm happy with this, and especially the number of teachers added, and I know come January we'll have more teachers. So as this improvement is done, I ask all of us in the country, and even those who are in the fence, those who always want to say negativity when they don't see anything positive with the president. We came from very far. Where we are, we know we've improved, and where the president is taking us, it is the real Canaan that I know the late Odinga said he was taking people to Canaan. And I'm happy that he joined hands with His Excellency the President. So I want to ask all the people of Kenya, we support His Excellency Dr. William Ruto, and I know come 2027, when we give him the second term, 7 years to come, he will have done great things to this country. At least there's food security. That one is enough for us. And our children going to school, and we are getting clothes. We have the affordable housing. So there is great improvement in this country. So once more, I support, and I want to say that we will support the president, and I will pray for him more. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Chief Oromondo.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipatia hii fursa ambao nimeengoja kwa muda mrefu. Labda ilikuwa upungufu wa mitambo kidogo, lakini nimeshukuru. Lakini kwanza Mheshimiwa Spika, nitoe shukrani zangu na kuunga mkono yale ambayo Mheshimiwa Rais ameweza kuyazungumzia katika mazungumzo yake hapa bungeni. Na kwanza kama mtu ambaye ninatoka Pwani, niseme ya kwamba Mheshimiwa Rais kuna kitu kimoja ama uongozi ambao anauthibitisha katika hii nchi. na huu ni uongozi wa usawa. Kwa mara ya kwanza katika historia, hata sisi watu wa pwani tunaona maendeleo yakipatikana vile yanapatikana kwa wenzetu. Na nina uthibitisho hapa ya kwamba Mheshimiwa Rais mwenyewe alizungumza hapa na akataja barabara ambayo inatoka Mombasa mpaka kule Lungalunga. Itatengenezwa pia, hiyo iwe ina njia mbili ya kwenda na kurudi. Pili, tuko na miradi ambayo pia inaendelea pwani nzima ya barabara, ya stima na kadhalika. Na pia niseme ya kwamba tukiangalia hata maeneo kama vile kule ninatoka Lungalunga, huu mradi wa nyumba pia upo pale Kanana, tutawekewa huo mradi na tayari kandarasi inaendelea. Unakuta ya kwamba pia soko iko, na pia tuna nyumba za watoto ambazo zitajengwa, ambazo wanaita kwa Kiingereza hostels, zitajengwa pale Lungalunga Vocational Training Center, ambazo pia tulikuwa tunajua kwamba yanazungumzwa, wakati huo alikuwa akizungumzwa katika maeneo mengine. Lakini tunataka tuseme ya kwamba sasa uongozi wa Mheshimiwa William Samoei Ruto tumeona ya kwamba ni wa usawa, na kwa sababu hiyo tunasema ya kwamba tunashukuru hata kwa miradi ambayo ilikuwa imesahaulika kama vile daraja la Mwachande, na ni miundo msingi ambayo alizungumzia wakati akitoa hotuba yake ya kwamba anaenda kuhakikisha kwamba miundo msingi inagawa kwa usawa katika nchi nzima. Na nataka niseme hapa, hiyo daraja ya Mwachande ilianguka kutoka mvua ya El Nino. Marais wamekuja, lakini Mheshimiwa William Ruto ndio ameweka guu, na kulingana na ile kasi ambayo inaendelea pale, kwa miezi mingine mitatu wananchi ambao wanaunganisha Msambweni na Lungalunga hawatakuwa na tatizo hilo tena. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Rais anafanya kazi kwa usawa, na niseme ya kwamba swala ambalo lilinitia mshawasha na furaha ni kwamba amewekeza utafiti ambao utafanya hii nchi kuhakikisha kwamba inakuwa na ubunifu na kuangalia masuala ambayo itaipeleka mbele kwa usasa ambao unaendelea kupitia na utafiti. Swala lingine, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni swala ambalo ni la elimu. Tunakuta ya kwamba wakati uliopita vyuo vyetu vikuu vilikuwa nusura vifungwe, lakini sasa hivi unakuta ya kwamba ile model ambayo aliweka ya kulipa karo, mimi nina ushahidi kwa sababu niko katika kamati moja ya uhasibu, na wale wakuu wa vyuo wakifika pale huwa wanatoa ithibati ya kwamba huu mfumo unawafaa, kwa sababu sasa vyuo viko katika mwelekeo wa sawa. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, sitaki nitoke hapa bila kutaja mambo yafuatayo. Kama wapwani kutoka Lamu, Tana River, pale Kilifi, Mombasa, Kwale na Taita Taveta, tuna shida moja ambayo ni ya maji. Ni sawa, inaweza kuwa hiyo miundo msingi ilikuwepo. Kwa mfano, kuna mradi wa Mzima ulikuwa umefanywa miaka mingi iliyopita, ukiangalia viwango vya watu waliokuwepo wakati huo. Kwa sasa Mombasa yenyewe haina maji. Tunavyozungumza, mji wa Lungalunga ambao mimi Chiforomodo natoka hauna maji. Mji wa Kinango hivi tunavyozungumza hauna maji, na miji mingine yote ukifika pale Kilifi ni tabu, madhila, matatizo kwa sababu ya maji. Namuomba Mheshimiwa Rais katika kuweka sahihi kwangu ama kusahihisha mtihani huu wa maendeleo wa miaka mitatu ambao amefanya, mimi kama Chiforomodo naona amepata 80%. Akijaribu kurekebisha haya masuala ya maji, mimi na hakika hata ndovu kule Mtunga wataondoka.
Give him an additional 2 minutes.
Kwa sababu Mheshimiwa Spika, hilo swala la maji ndilo linafanya sisi kule tunazozana na wanyamapori na matatizo mengine mengi. Haiwezekani katika karne ya 21 leo hii bado tuko na maeneo ambayo watu wanakunywa maji ambayo ni machafu. Kwa hivyo hilo ni swala ambalo katika mtazamo wangu kama mheshimiwa ama mbunge nayewakilisha watu wa Lungalunga na hata wa Pwani kwa ujumla, tunaomba Mheshimiwa Rais swala la maji alitilie guu na ahakikishe ya kwamba sisi kama watu wa pwani tunapata maji safi, na hapo atakuwa amemaliza. Na sio kwamba sifahamu ya kwamba maji yamegatuliwa na kwamba kuna kampuni za maji, lakini ukweli ni kwamba kiwango cha maji kinahitajika ya kwamba serikali iingilie. Ule mradi wa Mwache ambao unaendelea, kulingana na mpango uliopo, uta-address sehemu ndogo sana ya Mombasa na sehemu ndogo sana ya Kwale. Hizo sehemu zingine zitakuwa bado zina nini. Kwa hivyo tunaunga mkono Mheshimiwa Rais, tunamuombea na tunamwambia apate nguvu ya kufanya kazi, maana maamuzi yake yalikuwa yanaonekana kwamba sio popular, lakini ukweli ni kwamba Mheshimiwa Rais amefanya kazi kwa muda mfupi. Dola imeimarika na uchumi umeimarika na SHA inafanya kazi, na sisi wabunge pia tunapata nafuu, kwa sababu wale wagonjwa wakija tunawaambia ukiwa kwa SHA wewe unapata nini. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa hii nafasi.
Mheshimiwa Chiforomondo, si dola imeimarika, ni shilingi yetu ya Kenya imeimarika
dhidi ya dola.
Dhidi ya dola.
Ndio hivyo tu tunamaanisha hivyo, na asante sana kwa marekebisho.
Honorable members, we now adjourn the House. This debate is for 4 days. It's the address by the President, so we still have 3 more days. The time being 6:40 p.m. This House stands adjourned until Wednesday, the 26th of November, 2025 at 9:30 a.m.
Good afternoon to you and welcome to this live broadcast of the Senate on this 25th day of November, the year being 2025. And we are so glad that you're watching this live broadcast coming to you from the Parliament of Kenya building, specifically the Senate chambers, with a lot lined up for the consideration by the House. In the highlights in the order of business this afternoon is the debate on the President's address to Parliament. This is the first day that the Senate will be debating this address, courtesy of a motion by the Senate leader of the majority party that pursuant to Standing Orders number 27, subsection 6, the Senate records its thanks for the exposition of the public policy contained in the address by His Excellency the President, delivered on Thursday, 20th of November, and laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, November 25th, 2025. So this is among the reports that will be tabled this afternoon by the leader of the majority party, subsequently followed by the debate on this report. Remember, following the President's address on the 20th day of November, the address and Article 132 of the Constitution requires that the President tables reports, 3 of them in regards to how the country is progressing. Among the reports submitted by His Excellency, pursuant to Standing Orders number 132, subsection 1C, and 240, subsection 7 of the Constitution, include the 12th annual report on all measures taken and progress achieved in realization of national values and principles of good governance. The other report pertains the annual report to Parliament on the state of the national security of the year 2025. So this will form the basis for the debate by the senators for the better part of this week, where after the delivery of the State of the Nation address, both chambers of Parliament usually set aside time to debate what was addressed to the nation through Parliament. As during that address, it is just the President who delivers the address, and members of the National Assembly or from the Senate do not say anything after that, as that is only the matter that brings Parliament to that sitting on the appointed day. So after that, the House, each individual House allocates time for debate. This State of the Nation address, it is an address that has been given priority in both chambers of Parliament this week. After the motion on the President's address to the nation, courtesy of the State of the Nation Address 2025, the Senate will then move to debate the installation of CCTV cameras in all police station cells and police reporting desks. This is a motion by Senator Karen Nyamo that aware that Article 51 of the Constitution provides that a person who is detained, held in custody or imprisonment under the law retains all the rights and fundamental freedoms of Bill of Rights, except to the extent that any particular right or fundamental freedom is clearly incompatible with the fact that a person is detained or held in custody or imprisoned. The Senator states that are aware that the National Task Force on Improvement of Terms and Conditions and Service and other reforms for members of the National Police Service and the Kenya Prison recommended adequate government funding to the National Police Service to modernize these facilities. Allow me to hand over for this live broadcast of the Senate.
Mwenyezi Mungu, twakusihi tutazame kwa neema nyingi na baraka sisi watumishi wako ambao umeridhika kutita kwa nyadhifa za uongozi katika jamhuri hii yetu. Tukuomba tuwajalie tuyatende na kufikia mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Clerk, do we have quorum? Sergeant at arms, can you ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes?
The business of the Senate has commenced this afternoon with the House business being presided over by the Speaker of the House, Honorable Amason Kingi. Upon the commencement of the House business, the House lacks quorum to commence business, and that fact has necessitated the Speaker, pursuant to Standing Orders number 40 of the Senate, to direct the Sergeant at Arms to ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes. And this 10 minutes is a leeway for senators within the presence of Parliament to make their way into the chamber this afternoon to allow the House officially commence the consideration of business before it. There are a number of agendas before the Senate this afternoon. As that head count gets underway in the Senate, the House will debate the motion on the installation of CCTV cameras in all police stations, police cells, and police reporting desks. This is a motion by Senator Karen Nyamu, and in her motion she states that she is concerned that there has been increasing reports on human rights violations, abuse, unexplained injuries, and deaths in custody, as well as security breaches and escapes from police cell across the country. In this motion, she is seeking to have the Senate resolve that the national government, through the Ministry of Interior and National Administration, installs functional and tamper-proof CCTV cameras in all police station cells, police reporting desks across the country, and ensure that all CCTV systems are monitored in real time and that footage is secured, stored, and made accessible during investigations and the judicial processes. And finally, that the national government, through the Ministry of Interior and the National Administration, provides the necessary resources, technical support, training of law enforcement officers for the effective operation and maintenance of CCTV systems, and continuous digitization of occurrence book platforms, popularly known as OBs. This is a resumption of debates on this motion, and after conclusion of the time allocated for debate, the House will move to vote on this motion that is seeking to install CCTV cameras in all police stations, police cells, and police reporting desks. The Senate will also be considering the National Assembly amendments to the Meteorology Bill, Senate Bills number 45 of the year 2023, by the Chairperson Standing Committee on Lands, Environment and Natural Resources. this will actually be a resumption of debate with a question to be put and lined up for a consideration this afternoon. We await quorum
We do have quorum.
at the Senate, which has been attained.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Senator Mugo, kindly take your seat. Now, honorable senators would like to acknowledge the presence in the Speaker's Gallery this afternoon, a visiting delegation from the University of Nairobi, Rover Scouts who are in the Senate, for a courtesy call to Senator Tabitha Mutinda MP, the President of the World Scouts Parliamentary Union, Kenyan chapter. The World Scouts Parliamentary Union is an international organization which unites Scouts-oriented parliamentarians from all over the world and brings them into closer contact with the World Scouts movement. Its objective is to strengthen both National Scouts organization and World Scouting through the influence of parliamentarians who believe in Scouting as an effective non-formal education method and movement. Now, honorable senators, the University of Nairobi Rover Scouts participated in the recently concluded 11th WSPU Youth Assembly held at Kangweja Teachers College, Nyeri County from the 6th to the 9th of November 2025. They exhibited several community-led initiatives, among them a legal project dubbed Scouts and Law, which offers legal aid to the juveniles facing criminal charges in our judicial system, among other initiatives. Now,